Hi, I want to show you this Jackery Explorer portable power station that I bought. This is the 240D in case this is something you're interested in getting. Now, the point of this thing is to have portable power for things like your phone, laptop, etc. So you can take this anywhere, and I'll wait on the scale to show you. But let me give you a tour first before I talk about some of the features. It's got 3 USB-C ports, and I always like to see that. And it's got 1 USB-A port. So I'm always happy when there's more USB-C ports than USB-A ports because that's, nobody's really using that too much these days. You can input through the USB-C port, and you can also input with a solar panel. And it doesn't have to be a Jackery solar panel, you just need to have the right connections. I'll explain that in a little bit. The Jackery panels will work just fine. But you can input with USB-C and output with USB-C on this port down here. The cool thing about this is that it has a handle that doubles as a charging cord. I've never seen this before. But you can take this off. It comes with it like this. You disconnect that and you have a 140 watt rated USB-C cable for input and output. Now this isn't very long, but it is really cool that you can put it in as the handle to hold the device up. So let me give you a close-up view of this. So there's that, and then you just have to line this up and then twist and get that in there, and then you can carry it around like this. Here's what the side looks like. There's nothing on the back. On the bottom, there's just these orange silicone feet. And then here's the screen. You can input and output at the same time. And there's just one button, power button. And as far as I can tell, this does not work with the Jackery smartphone app. So I don't think this has any Bluetooth or Wi-Fi in it. And I think the reason they did that is because you're probably going to always have this right near you. You don't need to have it remotely monitored because they made this very light and they put 256 watt hours into this. So if you compare this to other power stations that have 256 watt hours of storage, then they're going to look bigger than this. So let's weigh this with the handle on it. And so take a look at this. We see down there 4 pounds and 12 ounces. So under 5 pounds, comfortably under 5 pounds for this power station. And so this is perfect for, you need to have power when you're out charging your drones, running your laptop, or whatever. Now you cannot take this on a commercial airplane because it's over 100 watt hours, so just bear that in mind. Now charging this is, there's something fun that I discovered about charging this. You can use the USB-C cable. And I'll plug this in and I'll show you how you can get the maximum on this USB-C. It'll start going up here. It just takes a second for it to negotiate between its source and this because it's an input and output port. But you can see it's inputting now, and you're never going to get 140 watts exactly off of these cables, but that's close enough. So that is inputting 135 watts. So I would call that, inputting 140 watts. What's really cool about this is that you can also input solar panels at the same time. And so let me plug this in. Now it's cloudy outside, so I'm simulating a solar panel with this power source down here. And this will ramp up. You can see the solar panel icon came on the screen. So I'm inputting close to 200 watts. And this is cool. I didn't even see this in the listing as a feature, but that you can combine solar and DC input to get the maximum charging rate, which matches the maximum discharge rate on this guy. And so you can really juice up the charging to get it going pretty quickly. You can see the animation on there. That's the state of charge. So 52%, 53%. It's going up very quickly. Now I had mentioned about how you can use non-Jackery solar panels with this. This port can take up to 100 watts of input, so 100 watt solar panel. So if you take a look at the printing right here, it says 11 to 28 volts. So you have to make sure that your solar panel isn't outputting more than 28 volts. Otherwise, there may be an issue with this port. So keep it under 28 volts. It should be fine. Pretty much any 100 watt solar panel should be under that limit. Now there is an issue with this type of connection here. This port is called an 8020, and I believe Jackery is one of the only power station companies that uses this port. And so the Jackery solar panels that have that connection will plug right into here. But if you want to use a different type of solar panel, then you might have to get one of these converters. I got this from another Jackery power station that I own, but you can buy this pretty easily. It converts 8020 to 7909, which is a more common type of barrel plug. And then you can get your connectors. I have to use a series of connections here because I'm using a different power source. But if you just have this connection, you might need to get another one, but you can use then any solar panel you want, but that's under that 28-volt limit. Now let's talk about output. I am using the cable here that it came with to charge my phone through this USB-C port, and then this USB-C port is charging another battery, and the output is just over 100 watts. So this can output up to 200 watts, and the way that you can do that is with this USB-C port and this one with a load on it of 100 watts each. And so it will distribute the power. There's 200 watts available, and it'll distribute it between all of these ports. So a few other things about this power station to note: if you triple click this button, you'll get an icon on the screen, and that says 6H, and that means if it detects less than 2 watts of output across these ports after a 6-hour time period, then it will power down. It has a very long cycle life. It's rated for 6,000 down to 70% of its original capacity. So 256 watt hours is the original capacity. So 70% of that after 6,000 charge cycles. And a charge cycle is starting at 100% state of charge, draining the battery down to 0, and then charging it back up to 100%. That's a 1 charge cycle. So you can do that 6,000 times before you get to that 70% of the original capacity. So super long lasting battery chemistry inside of here. It's lithium iron phosphate. And I forgot to mention that if you charge with solar panels and USB-C at the same time, it's going to prioritize the solar input. Now, my final thoughts on this little power station is this is really cool, and it fits in a lot of great situations. You want to throw it in a car and do some remote work and keep your devices powered. It works great for that. Something that I don't appreciate about it is that it doesn't work the app. So I can't like upgrade firmware if new firmware came out. And that maybe that's available. I just haven't figured it out yet. The other thing is that it doesn't have your carb port, that 12-volt carb port. So if you wanted to run a small refrigerator that uses those portable ones, this doesn't have that ability, although you might be able to figure out a way to get the USB-C port to connect there. But other than that, the lightweightness of this and the portableness of this make this a really great option for a lot of people who just want USB-C outputs, the ability to charge with a solar panel, and one USB-A port with the carrying handle and USB-C cable rated at 140 watts.